Hello, everyone. This is Ben Dunn, founder of Anarchic Press, a small publishing company established in 1985. Creator of such comic books as Ninja High School, Warrior Nun, Marvel Mangaverse, Mighty Tiny, Tomorrow Girl, and a host of other comic books. And today going to answer a question that a listener asked at Really? You're Kidding? And he asked simply this question. Ben, can you please do an episode on the benefits of signing one's IP to an indie publisher such as Anarch Press, and what kind of marketing, distribution, and support one can expect from an indie publisher? Well, really, you kidding? That can vary from publisher to publisher. You know, publishers are like snowflakes. Each one has its own policies, each one has its own way of doing business, each one has a way of handling their creators, their product, their distribution system, and everything like that. But in general, publishers act as a more or less a way for one to get their idea or creation out there without, really the creator doing any work as far as short of just creating. Traditional publishers, ones that existed back in the day, basically handled distribution, printing, marketing, and payment to the creator. Now, how they handled it varied differently from publisher to publisher. I'm sure you'll ask any creator who worked for multiple publishers that their policies were all different from one publisher to the other. Essentially, though, it's basically you're doing work or you're sending your creation in exchange for the publisher to get it out there and then it ultimately pay you. Okay, but I'm not going to say this is for all publishers, but this is the way Anarchic Press works. Of course, things have changed in the last 40 years. Initially, we just basically was just, a nod and a handshake and a promise of payment based on what we could afford to pay. Now, initially, we thought we would pay based on page rate. Now, I'll tell you, honestly, really, listen up. If you're a small publisher and you pay on page rate, that is a sure way of going out of business very, very quickly. The thing about page rate is that, when you promise a page rate, you're thinking what your future sales will be. The problem with trying to predict the future is you don't know what it's going to be. So if the book is highly successful, then great, you made a profit. You paid based on whatever page rate you made. But if the book fails, then you've lost money. And then you continue to fail, it's still promising a page rate, then eventually you're going to go out of business. Simple as that. The thing about it is that when you guarantee a page rate, then that's a promise to the creator that that's what they're going to get, despite whatever the sales are going to be. And the creator doesn't care. He doesn't. Of course, he cares about the sales because he wants to keep working, but he wants to be paid. He did the work. He wants to be paid. That's not unreasonable. That's fully expected. And if the publisher promises to pay, then he should pay. He should pay. That's the thing about keeping your word as far as the publisher is concerned. Now, a lot of publishers, I'll tell you, they're not very creative people. They base their decisions on what they think they will sell, not because how good something is or how creative something is. That's just not their modus operandi. Very few publishers, are creative people. I mean, I'll be honest with you. But very few creative people are business people. I'm a perfect example of that. I'm terrible at business. I'm lousy at business. I've been very lucky to have people around me who do know business, and we share a common goal and a common dream. Oftentimes publishers have a more or less antagonistic attitude toward its creative staff, towards creative people. And that, to me, also is a recipe for disaster. You can't get along with the people who are producing your material, then eventually it's going to come to a head and things are going to collapse. It always does. Eventually it always does. The thing about Marvel and DC that they're just too big. They're huge. They have millions of dollars at their disposal. They have hundreds of people wanting to work for them. So they can pick and choose whoever they want, but they also have the reputation of paying. They pay, on time, and they pay, what whatever their rates are. So people want to work for them because they know they can get a steady paycheck. That's really what it comes down to. So the advantage of working for, but the problem is that the creators don't own any IP. It's basically work for hire. You don't know what work for hire is. Work for hire is basically the company hires some creative person to do the work, and once its job is done, then you no longer have any control of it. Just think of it as hiring like a plumber or a handyman or a mechanic. You don't expect them to want to say, well, I own part of your refrigerator now, or I own part of your car now. That's just not expected. It's one and done. Once the project is done, then you're expected to move on, or the company may like your work and continue to offer you work. But in exchange, you own nothing. Now, that's changed nowadays. I think now the publishers realize that if they want to get the best people, the most creative people, they have to share in some of the windfall that comes from a creative endeavor. Because that's just the way things have changed. And quite frankly, I'm all for that. We've always been a creator rights company. We believe in not owning one single percentage point of any comic that Anarch Press publishes. The thing is that we don't pay page rates. We pay strictly on royalty. Yeah, we'll give you an advance based on what we think a comic will sell, and if the comic sells well, we take away the advance minus your royalty, and you get the rest as payment. The big difference is that you own 100% your IP. You basically lease it to us. We print it, we distribute it, we market it the best we can. But of course, we highly encourage creators to do their own marketing, because the best way to promote your work is you the creator. We'll do whatever we can, but we are limited in our resources as far as our reach is concerned on promoting creative endeavors. It's just we just don't have it. The staff or the resources to do that. But now in this day and age of digital marketing and things like that, it's very depending on how much the creator wants to promote their work, can translate into success. It can very well translate to success. And the creator's own work also can speak for itself. That's just the way it is. We have the advantage of that we both are a creator-owned company, and we also own our own creations. Basically anything I create for Antarctic Press is owned by Antarctic Press. Antarctic Press has the ability to exploit anything I create because I voluntarily give it to them. Because I have stake in the company, and by allowing other people to work on my work, or let the Antarctic Press exploit my creations is a big advantage that Antarctic Press has. And there's no question that I own the IP, but I also allow Antarctic Press to share in that IP. So it's sort of like the opposite of what Marvel and DC do. The creator can do the same if they want to. If they want to allow Antarctic Press to own part of someone's creation, we can do that. And in exchange, we can help connect them with people who are in the movie industry, people who are in the entertainment industry, connect with other writers, creators, artists, so they can do crossovers, they can do team-ups. They can do exchange information program, things like that. And so there is some advantages for that. But we still do not own any creator-owned IP. You basically give us permission, to go ahead and do that, and but we will never lay claim to the creator's IP unless they want us to. That it has to be strictly voluntary. We will never say, "Oh, we now own part of that IP." The thing about it is once the contract is over with a creator on Antarctic Press, is that you're free to take it anywhere you want. We do not hold anything back. You are, free to. You are emancipated, so to speak. You're free to take whatever you want to anywhere you want, and creators have done that. Or you can do your own self-publishing. That's just fine too. We do not hold anything against any creator should they decide to go ahead and do something on their own. In fact, we highly encourage it because we would want creators to go ahead and make as big a success as possible with their creation. It's just a thing that we want to see happen. It's just one of those things. So what real advantage and disadvantages do you have with working with small publishers like Antarctic Press? Well, the main disadvantage is that you don't get a page rate. You don't get a guaranteed page rate. And I'll be honest with you, there have been times where people, the sales of certain comics basically are very poor, very, 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 very disappointing, but we believe in transparency. So if any creator has any question on how we determine their royalty and their payments, we will provide 100% of the data that they ask for to see how we derive it. We don't hide anything, and we will be very quick to respond to any creator who has any questions about how we derive their payments. Now, another thing is that we are very generous with comps. If sometimes a lot of creators just want comps, they just want the copies of the book so they can sell at conventions, so they can pass around, and things like that. And some creators have found that to be very advantageous because they can actually make more money in the long run by having a whole bunch of books to sell at conventions, or through online sales. And so they've been very perfectly happy with that as well. So that's really the biggest disadvantage. Now, if you do well, if the book sells tremendously good, then you're gonna get a substantial return, on your creation. The magic number, for us as far as sales are concerned, is about 2,500 copies. If at 2,500 copies for a standard $4.99 comic, you can make a fairly decent amount, not a whole lot, but a fairly decent amount, and if you can maintain that for a long period of time, eventually, hopefully it'll grow and grow fast and grow quickly, and hopefully you'll start actually seeing a fairly decent return on your creation. What are the advantages? Well, these days, it's really not too much of an advantage that small publishers have over just crowdfunding or self-publishing yourself. The main advantage is that, one, we have longevity. We've been around for nearly 40 years. So we have experience in the comic industry. We know a lot of people. We know printers. We know we can get things done that normally a small creator would not normally be able to do. We have access to things like printing posters, stickers, toys even, on a limited basis at a very reasonable price that most small creators probably could not do. And we're always trying to find new things. We're always trying to find things that will help expand our reach, so to speak. Another thing is that we can get you into comic stores. The thing about it is that a lot of people still feel like that's an important aspect of their strategy, that they want their comics in the comic stores. The thing about crowdfunding is that it's a direct-to-consumer thing. Other than the people who are ordering your book, no one else is going to see your book. Now, while comic book stores have shrunk in the number, they are still very vital and important to the industry. They still contribute quite a bit into the overall health and sales of the comics industry. And we strongly support that model. We want to see it continue and to thrive. The thing about it is that, the product mix has not gotten people excited enough to want to go to comic stores, and I'm sure the economy has something to do with it as well. But overall, the importance is that we can get comics in the comic stores. And recently, we have been taking crowd-funded Kickstarter projects that we deem are that we enjoy and we like, and we will offer to people have brought their projects to us to see if they can get into comic stores. It's a win-win for them because the project's already been paid for. It's already been you've already collected whatever funds are going to collect on that particular project, and this is basically a second dip at the well. This is to a lot of creators, this is just gravy because you've already done the work, and now you can expand your reach by getting the comic stores, and hopefully that will translate into more readers for you, the creator, and hopefully more backers for whatever the next campaign that they decide to run. Another advantage is that we take care of distribution and printing and everything else of that matter. Like I said, we don't do very much marketing other than promoting the book in our other books, and which also we have a line of. We have a line of other books. We don't simply just do one or two. We do, nearly a dozen books every month, and that helps us create a line, which hopefully readers will be familiar with, and with the creator's book with the AP logo on it will be a sign of quality and that people will expect when they buy an Antarctic Press book. So hopefully I've answered your questions as far as what working for a company like Antarctic Press is concerned. But like I said before, every company has a different way of handling things. They're basically essentially publisher is the advantage of getting comic stores, handling the printing and distribution, and making payments to the creator without having to do it themselves. But like I said, every single one is different. Because it's just a matter of if I were trying to look for a publisher for my particular creation, I would ask people who have actually worked for a particular company or interested in and see what their experiences have been. That will be a good telltale sign as to whether or not what kind of decision you can make as far as picking a publisher is concerned. Marvel and DC are publishers, yes, but not in the traditional sense that they own everything that they create. Other than if they specifically say that this is your creation, and even then, you may not own 100% of it if you work for Marvel or DC. So that's the main advantage that somebody like us is over the Marvel and DC, that we will never, ever, ever lay any claim to any creator-owned project or creation. So hopefully I've answered your question. Really, you kidding? And see if that helps you out. Now, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you've heard. And I currently have a campaign on Kickstarter called Mighty Tiny. It's a steampunk anthropomorphic adventure for all ages, and hopefully you'll be a backer. So until next time, this is Ben Dunn signing off.